For decades, college campuses have been the front line of America's struggle with race.
Now, and finally, deny you admission to the University of Mississippi.
50 years ago, James Meredith was prevented from taking a place at the University of Mississippi because he was black. But defenders of segregation would lose, and in the years since, the US has tried to level opportunity for black and minority students through affirmative action. And that has helped campuses like this one at the University of Maryland better reflect the racial mix of America. It's always been contentious, but is its role now redundant?
I think that in the United States, which is increasingly a multi-ethnic and multiracial country, where the largest group is no longer African Americans, it's Latinos, where the fastest growing group is Asian Americans, we can't have a legal regime that sorts people according to skin color and national origin.
And critics hope Abigail Fisher's argument persuades the court to pass a sweeping judgment that strikes down affirmative action.
I hope the court rules that a student's race and ethnicity should not be considered when applying to the University of Texas.
Supreme Court decisions aren't just dry legal rulings. They frame American life, shape its culture and its values. It was only 60 years ago that the court ruled that segregated schools for blacks and whites were unlawful. Now, the question is whether colleges and universities can consider a candidate's colour in their admissions. The decision the justices will make is as much about the symbol of the signal it sends as it is about the law. In a break between their research and exams, students at Maryland wrestled with the role somebody's race should play in university admissions.
There's definitely still discrimination in America, but I don't think the way that affirmative action is implemented now is really addressing that discrimination.
People with disabilities face as many challenges and possibly as much discrimination as any other minority group, and yet we're completely ignored by affirmative action.
Unfortunately, there are people who discriminate based on race and sex and age, and it's a good step towards eliminating that factor.
The university says affirmative action is a useful admissions tool in keeping the campus diverse, but denies anyone is given a place here solely because of their colour.
Race is just one of the many, many diversity factors that are considered here in the admissions process.
What will the impact be here of the Supreme Court ruling that affirmative action is unlawful?
We would sort of gather ourselves, review our situation here at the university, and then try to find ways to be able to ensure that our students here have a really good, diverse experience for their own sake.
Has the US done enough to repair the inequalities of segregation? It's a question that hangs over this argument. Affirmative action has long been a pillar of US civil rights policy. Its future has never looked less certain. Ben Wright, BBC News, Washington.